Distinguished guests, I would like to welcome you all. Last year was the 100th anniversary of our republic, but we were a little bit upset because of the earthquake, but still we celebrated this. This year, in fact, is the 100th anniversary of our bank, and I hope this year is going to be much better. Every year we have good wishes about the coming year. We always have these good wishes for each and every year. However, this was not the case for 2022 with the Russian-Ukrainian war, and then on 2023 because of the earthquake we were very much disappointed. Hopefully this year is going to be much more relaxed and everything's going to be well, bringing luck to everybody. Well, in fact, today, globally, there is a global inflation crisis, and there are two fundamental reasons. It's about the way the 2008 crisis being solved and leading the solution, Fed's printing money and collecting toxic papers in the market and submitting paper into the markets. Sorting out 2008 crisis through this method. On top of this, pandemics arrived, and in order to solve this pandemics, another monetary expansion took place, and therefore, after 2008, this non-durable solution brought us to a global inflation situation globally. Well, we could have been in a better position. However, twice in the Turkey, we had troubles being in controversial situation with the economic science, we come up with a high rate of inflation. And in this inflationary global crisis, we have a very high inflation rate. And today, the primary objective is to fight against inflation. And the reason of the crisis of 2023 and the trouble that we're passing through in 2024 is in fact is a signal to the fundamental crisis of 2025, and it is in fact because of the recession, global recession, during the fight against the inflation. As you have seen on the paper of Alexander, it's not about us losing being on the first, but being the second in ranking, but we also lost 5 million tons in our exports as well. So, as a result, globally, we are at a recession period, and all around the world, inflation is the priority. And domestically, we have our own problems. And with this situation, 2023 was over because until 2023 second half there was the for 2024 until the half of this first half of this year we're going to be still passing through the election economy, and we have passed through the same situation in 2023, and now since last June we are trying to cope with this, and now we're at the end of this period after the elections, and for the coming 2 years period, we're still going to be in a difficult position, and this difficulty will be valid for the rest of the world as well. But I have to say that the inflation for February that has been announced yesterday is like 4.5%, and on an annual basis is 67% inflation. Please do not be demoralized, because this is in fact the worst period of our history in terms of inflation, and it is about the election period started last year, and as a result of the wrong policies. So that those came to an end as of the 31st of May 2023, and this period has been the worst period of inflation in our history. So this 100 years of republic history is going to be is going to be marked in history with the worst statistics about inflation. And during this period, if you remember, until the elections, the exchange rate has been pressed up, and with the normalization that's been announced in June, will find its place the increase in the exchange rate and the increase in the wages. And the reflection on the prices is going to be continuing till the end of the year and reaching to the 10%, 11%. And this was a period which we added a year on top of it. And this has reached to 5% in January and to 4.5% to February in terms of inflation. And Now, on a monthly basis, we're at the end of the worst scenario. March, April, and May inflations will not be higher than 4.5%. The inflation is going to be lower. However, the annual inflation between 31st of May 2023 2024 is going to be announced in June, first week of June, and is going to keep on increasing. So we will see the inflation is going to rise from 67% to 70%. And this, in fact, afterwards will be aligned with the last year's after June period. And this summer, June, July, and August numbers will come forward, and it is going to go down to 40%. And by the end of the year, most probably by December, it's going to be like 40 to 45%. So it's our estimation by the bank is going to be like 42%, and we're going to close the year with this inflation rate. Therefore, these monthly rates are in fact the results of the mistakes we've done in the past, and we can see them delayed in a delayed manner in the economy. So the actions you take will be reflected in a couple of months. So they come in front of you with a certain period of delay. So don't be surprised to see those results. So you have to know why these things are happening and whether these are continuing or not. So we see that those conditions are not continuing anymore. There is a very strict monetary policy in Turkey at the moment, and as of April, the fiscal policy become very tight as well, and this is going to make the monetary policy even tighter, and many decisions that have not been taken due to the elections will be taken after the elections, and the policy will be based on a more fundamental, more concrete and strong basis, and therefore Turkey will be able to reach to the inflation targets. Therefore, as a general manager of a bank, I have to say that our forecast by the end of this year is 42%, and for 2025, it's going to be like 22-25% inflation on an annual basis. And for the end of the 2026, we believe that it's going to reach down to 10% or something there. So it's very possible to see such figures. Therefore, if Turkey does not make a radical change in terms of policy, we hope that we're going to reach to a level of inflation which isn't going to be irritating of us. Therefore, what do we have to do as a business world? We, as the flat steel industry, what we can do is going to be something that I would like to talk about, and then I'm going to conclude my remarks. Now, China passing us and being number one in the European market is in fact a result of the narrowing of the internal demand. And China tried to find a solution to this by going towards the trading. And the steel manufacturer, if goes towards the exports, then everybody will take its share out of it. So we did it. So in competition with China, we have gone down in terms of our sales. Therefore, our exports value gone down. And of course, the protectionist approach has been another impact, has been another reason. And the recession has been another factor for this decrease. And when the demand has gone down, there has been a surplus in the industry, and this also has had an impact on the prices. Therefore, under the light of these developments, the sector has been fully affected in 2023, and this is a still ongoing process. Now, what's important for this sector for this year is this development. The exports for crude steel has gone down by 30% and reached to 10 million tons, and imports has been reached to 11 million tons. So $8.3 million for exports and $14.6 million for imports. Therefore, this, in fact, is a great concrete factual evidence of the challenge we're facing through. In terms of crude steel, with 34 million tons, we have a 2% of a share, and we come on the 8th rank in terms of global manufacturing. But as I said, China has a 50% 54% of a share on the first rank, and in order to come over the internal market problems, chose to go to the exports. Therefore, in this period, China will reach to the historical value as of 2023 with a 90 million tons of an exports. That's why the prices in the industry were a little bit pressurized. That's why we had to compete with China in these markets. And this has been a challenge. Now, if we speak about the flat steel exports, especially the exports in 2023 compared to previous year, has gone down to 3.5 million tons, and imports from 8.4 million tons gone up to 9.3 million tons, which means that the sector, while was not able to go for exports, has done a lot of imports. And in this regard, because of this development and because of the price-related situation, you are at the verge of two challenges. Because of the stocks, you're either making loss, and in terms of the VAT situation, you're having trouble in terms of issuing new invoices. Therefore, with the cost of this increasing financing, the stock-related, inventory-related challenge, and being in a position to pay VAT for every sales is going to bring you some difficulty, and these seem to be the major challenges for you. And this pressure is ongoing pressure on the prices. Well, there is another thing that I would like to highlight, which is of great importance, alert situation. For the first time, we have the flat manufacturing together with the long one. We are lagging behind of our consumption, which means that 38.1 million tons of steel has been consumed internally, while there were lots of protectionist approaches, and while China was going towards exports. So we were not able to produce as much as we consumed. We produced only 37 million tons for the first time. In flat steel, well, of course, we always had a higher imports than exports. However, for the long and flat steel, for the first time, we're lagging behind the manufacturing in terms of consumption. And 5.8 million tons for the first time flat steel manufacturing. So there has been a consumption of 19.5 million tons of a consumption for flat steel. There's a big gap. So we weren't able to manufacture what we consumed in domestically. So in 2024 and 25, probably this should be reversed, and we have to see things getting in the opposite direction. And in terms of energy and efficiency, we had to be able to go with the projects. And in these two difficult years, maybe we had to make it an opportunity for investment. In terms of energy and labor efficiency, green transformation has to be put at the front, and the decarbonization in line with the European policies have to be adopted in Turkey, and necessary measures have to be taken, and we have to be a country that is completing the transformation in this process, and we have to be ready to the market. I believe this can only help the manufacturers in the flat steel sector of Turkey. This would be the smartest way to survive. And I think with these costs, I will have to say that as Turkish İş Bank, in order to continue to production, and in order not to lose our power in exports, and in order to gain power in exports, not only for this year, but for the transformation to be ready for 2026, in order to be even more powerful, the bank is going to come out with an investment loan within its own capacity. Maybe you haven't heard about it, but I have to say that in this environment of interest rate, 2-year zero payment, 10-year maturity from 100 million to 800 millions. By 80%, you can be financed by us in this credit model. 35% of a interest rate will be available by İş Bank. So this is the package created by İş Bank, but I have to say that 35%, if you think about 10 years of maturity, can still be high. But if we continue to fight against inflation in economy, and if you have that strong belief as we do, if you also think that 42% of inflation will go down to 22% and then to 12 to 15%, then the variable interest rate credit can also be used with 10-year maturity. Therefore, you can make the best use of this opportunity for investment. And I think this would be helping you for the coming 2 years. And in terms of using an exchange credit, this can be a good environment only with this variable interest rate, not with the fixed interest rate, because you're not going to be carrying the risk of the exchange rate. But we, as the banks, as we were not able to trust the exchange rate in terms of economy policy, the foreign exchange credits had to go down in our balance sheet. Therefore, our appetite was small for this credit. But in this new period of economy, we're not that much scared of the foreign exchange credit. We can make it usable. And for the green transformation, it is possible to provide you this $2.4 billion of a credit is available at İş Bank in this regard, which can be offered to you by İş Bank.
Bunu söyleyeyim. Umarım bu kaynakta sizler için.
So we hope that this can help you to have a fresh breath for the transformation of your business. We as Turkish İş Bank believe the importance of digitalization, and we take leadership in our industry. And the CEP, İşCEP has been selected as the biggest, the best application globally, not for Turkey, not for Middle East, not for Eastern Europe, the global number one. So we are the bank who owns the number one of the world. So digitalization, we believe, is very important for your industry as well. And as the CEO of this this bank, we have Pro MTR Steel Trade Platform is something that I would like to tell you about, because this is in fact a part of our digitalization vision. Everything is going to be digitalized. Your conventional business making is going to be digitalized.
Yüz yüze.
So when we just think of the commerce that you do via the the telephone, for example, will be replaced by the digital communication platforms. So the first platform for the steel sector was created together with you. And in the past, we had some marketplaces for the companies, and in each company was testing it out for commercialization, so that this trade activity could be digitalized. However, penetration into the market was not that large. And in the end of 2022, we have established a company called Prometea. And on that platform, there are 293 approved companies, and as well improved buyers. And we are the mediators of the steel trade. And the trade volume was really good. However, just think of the month of February. It was over $1 million only in February. And for 2023, it was 1.5 million billion Turkish lira. So I think that this marketplace will give you advantages. The first thing is that about purchasing and selling, there will be a price transparency for you and for the supply chain. that probably that circle will be broken so that it is going to support the competition within the sector. This is the first option. And the second thing is that just to support this platform during 2023, İş Bank credit card offered a lot of advantages. For example, not charging interest for 3 months for the credit card. Just think of such benefits so that we covered the need for the finance. And this year also, we have a margin of 180 days. If you use this platform by using your commercial credit cards, you can actually make transactions up to 180 days with a very reasonable interest rates. So I think that this platform is really beneficial for the commercialization of the trade, so that we will make the sector more productive, more competitive in the global segment. And we support you as a Turkey İş Bank. We are here for you. We are next to you. Hopefully, the next 2 years will be spent together, shoulder to shoulder, the manufacturing sector and the banking sector. They will be supporting each other, and hopefully we expect actually an increase for the demand for 2026. And also the green transformation hopefully will be completed until 2026. So I wish you a very successful conference. I hope that you will enjoy the day. So thank you very much.